One Spider-Man died on screen, but Marvel erased it from history. The real reason Tobey Maguire's suit never changed will blow your mind. And the forgotten live-action Spidey that started it all? You've never seen him fight. Stick around. The final reveal rewrites everything you thought you knew about Peter Parker. Before billion-dollar budgets, before cross-universe cameos and CGI overload, there was a Spider-Man simpler than vinyl and funk, Danny Seagren's 1974 debut on the Electric Company. No, it wasn't a blockbuster. It wasn't even a full show. Seagren's Spider-Man was a silent figure in a children's educational program, communicating through comic book-style on-screen text bubbles. This wasn't the hero of action-packed fight scenes. It was Spider-Man as a literacy ambassador. His suit, let's call it charmingly primitive, closer to department store Halloween than superhero chic. Still, it marked history. The very first time Spider-Man was brought to life in live action. Zoom ahead to 1977, and Spider-Man takes on his first leading role in a series. Nicholas Hammond suited up in The Amazing Spider-Man, giving fans their first dose of episodic Spidey. Forget multiverse melodrama or alien invasions. This Peter Parker was a mature photographer taking down hypnotists, mad scientists, and shady underground syndicates. This Spidey's world felt more like Columbo than Endgame. His webbing? A visible white rope. His suit? A funky 70s blend of mesh eyes, crooked chest emblem, and a spider tracker belt. Over 4 years, the show spawned 3 films. First was The Amazing Spider-Man, 1977, a pilot-turned-movie where Peter fights a mind-bending guru after getting bitten by a radioactive spider. Second was Spider-Man Strikes Back, 1978. Peter thwarts a nuclear scheme plotted by rogue college students. Third was Spider-Man, The Dragon's Challenge, 1981. He jets to Hong Kong to help clear a Chinese official's name. This Peter didn't quip or charm, he investigated. He served as the blueprint, the silent cornerstone for the legends that followed. Then came the seismic shift. In 2002, director Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire teamed up to craft a trilogy that defined a generation. This wasn't just a superhero movie, it was Shakespeare in a spandex suit. Spider-Man introduced Peter Parker as the eternally unlucky, awkward high schooler with a good heart and zero luck. One spider bite later, he's juggling newfound powers and the crushing weight of guilt after Uncle Ben's death. Enter the Goblin. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, became the MCU's emotional template, villainy fused with tragedy and terrifying menace. By the end, Peter makes the ultimate sacrifice. He gives up Mary Jane to protect her. The suit? A masterpiece. Raised silver webbing, sculpted musculature, mirrored lenses. Classic. Untouched for the trilogy. Spider-Man 2 was the soul of the saga. Peter is in ruins. He's losing MJ, losing his job, and losing his powers, literally. Burned out and broken, he questions whether being Spider-Man is worth the personal cost. Enter Doc Ock, Alfred Molina as a grieving genius fused to mechanical arms. The train scene, where Peter stops a speeding train at the cost of his own body, is cinema legend. When passengers gently pass his unconscious body over their heads, they see his face and vow to keep his secret. That's the essence of Spider-Man. Sacrifice without applause. Spider-Man 3 divided fans, but gave us layers. Peter faces revenge, grief, and pride in the form of 3 antagonists. Harry Osborn as the new Goblin. Sandman, a criminal with a deeply human backstory. Venom, a corrupted reflection of Peter's darkest traits. Yes, there's the infamous emo Peter moment, but the emotional gravity holds. Peter learns to forgive, let go, and grow. His black suit, sleek, vicious, alien, symbolize that internal battle. Moving on, let's shift our focus to Andrew Garfield, the outcast Spider-Man, 2012 to 2014. Andrew Garfield in 2012's The Amazing Spider-Man, a skateboarding, hoodie-wearing, fiercely independent Peter Parker with a sharper tongue and deeper emotional shadows. The Amazing Spider-Man refreshed the origin tale. This time, Peter's digging into the mystery behind his missing parents, tracing clues back to Oscorp and Dr. Kurt Connors, who transforms into the monstrous lizard. The chemistry with Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone, didn't just sizzle, it blazed. Their relationship felt raw, real, and unforgettable. Andrew's Peter wasn't just different. He was emotionally raw, socially distant, and witty under pressure. His Spidey had more edge, more realism, and more bite. The suit? A total overhaul. Yellow lenses, deep navy webbing, lean design. Sleek, modern, divisive. It said, "This isn't your older brother's Spider-Man." By the time the sequel arrived, Peter Parker wasn't just Spider-Man. He was New York's swinging savior. Beloved by the people, saving strangers, fighting crime, and yet haunted by a vow. A promise whispered by Gwen Stacy's father before his death. Stay away from my daughter. Keep her safe. But how do you stay away from the one you love? Villains enter. First, Max Dillon, an invisible man, ignored by society, worshipping Spider-Man, until a terrible accident turns him into Electro, a living circuit of rage and voltage. Then Harry Osborn, Peter's childhood friend, crumbling under legacy and sickness, consumed by desperation, and finally transformed into a twisted, cackling green goblin. Rhino rumbles into the story too, more of a loud promise for future chaos than a true threat. Then it happens. Gwen falls. Time slows. Peter dives. His web snaps out. But gravity doesn't care about good intentions. Gwen dies. And Peter screams, a sound raw, real, unforgettable. A hero with powers, but not enough to save her. The themes hit hard, grief, fate, guilt. But even shattered, Peter rises. He rediscovers his purpose in the eyes of a child. Spider-Man returns, not because it's easy, but because it's right. His suit, sleek, bright, iconic. Wide white eyes, vivid red and royal blue. Arguably the most comic accurate of all. Andrew Garfield gave us a Spider-Man who bled, who loved fiercely, who ached when he failed, and still got back up. He had the spark, the swing, the soul. But behind the scenes, Sony's plans crumbled. A third film was never made. His story ended incomplete, but not forgotten. Then came the impossible. Marvel and Sony joined forces, and the MCU found its Spider-Man in Tom Holland, a young, wide-eyed teenager from Queens who felt like he'd stepped right out of the comic panels. Captain America: Civil War. Peter Parker, 15, gets recruited by Iron Man. No radioactive spiders. No origin rehash. Just Tony Stark knocking on his door with a high-tech suit and a spot on Team Iron Man. Holland's Peter is pure enthusiasm, cracking jokes mid-fight, fangirling over the Avengers while dodging Falcon and Winter Soldier. His suit, a marvel of tech, expressive eyes, tracking systems, AI assistant. Spider-Man upgraded. Moving on, let's shift our focus to Spider-Man: Homecoming, 2017. Post-Civil War, Peter is buzzing, itching to become a full-time Avenger. But Stark says, not yet. Peter's left in Queens, stopping bike thieves, rescuing old ladies, trying to balance school, a crush, and crime fighting. Then comes the Vulture, Adrian Toombs, a working-class salvager turned weapon dealer, recycling alien tech to fund his future. Peter gets reckless. Stark takes the suit back. If you're nothing without the suit, you shouldn't have it. Peter proves himself without gadgets. In his DIY costume, hoodie, goggles, and guts, he takes down the Vulture with heart and hustle. In the end, he rejects the official Avenger offer. He chooses to remain grounded. A kid, a hero, a neighbor. Moving on, let's shift our focus to Spider-Man: Far From Home, 2019. Here Tony's gone. The world mourns. And Peter? He's just trying to be a kid again. A summer trip to Europe. A plan to confess his feelings to MJ. But peace isn't an option. Enter Mysterio, a seemingly noble warrior from another Earth. But it's all a trick. Quentin Beck is a disgruntled ex-Stark employee, master of illusions and manipulator of truth. Peter wears 3 suits. The first suit is Iron Spider. Tony's gift, metal limbs, advanced AI. The second suit is Stealth Suit, all black, covert ops vibes. The third suit is Upgraded Suit, red and black, designed by Peter himself using Stark's tech. A symbolic passing of the torch. And then comes the Peter Tingle. No gadgets, just instinct. He sees through Mysterio's illusions using only his senses, and becomes his own hero. But Beck isn't done. In his dying breath, he frames Peter and exposes his secret identity to the entire world. Moving on, let's shift our focus to Spider-Man: No Way Home, 2021. The world now knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and they hate him. His life unravels. MJ and Ned are targeted. College dreams collapse. So Peter asks Doctor Strange to erase everyone's memory. But he interrupts the spell, because of course he does, and fractures reality. Villains flood in from every universe. Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Electro, Sandman, the Lizard, and then Magic. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield return. Three Spider-Men, bonded by pain, swinging side by side in a final battle to cure their foes, not unalive them. Tobey stops Tom from making the same deadly mistake he once made. Andrew redeems himself, catching MJ in a moment that mirrors Gwen's fall. In the end, Peter makes the hardest choice. He lets everyone forget him. Not Spider-Man him. Peter Parker. No friends. No love. No past. Just a new suit, sewn by hand. Bright blue and red. Alone in a tiny apartment. A fresh start. The Spider-Man no one remembers, but everyone needs. Moving on, let's shift our focus to Spider-Man Lotus, 2023. Not made by Marvel. Not approved by Sony. But born from pure passion. Spider-Man Lotus was a fan film written and directed by Gavin J. Conop, starring Warden Wayne as Peter Parker. This isn't a blockbuster. It's a quiet reflection on grief and healing. Set after Gwen Stacy's death, Peter is drowning in regret, questioning the mask, questioning the mission. Then he learns of a terminally ill boy, a child whose last wish is to meet Spider-Man. Peter shows up. No fighting, no explosions, just connection, compassion, and the slow return of purpose. The suit, inspired by Alex Ross. Bold black webbing, matte red fabric, stoic white eyes. It feels retro, grounded, and emotional, matching the film's tone perfectly. Unfortunately, the project was tarnished by controversy. Past offensive messages from Warden Wayne and others came to light, leading to online backlash and calls for a boycott. Yet the film was released on YouTube, racking up millions of views. Because love for Spider-Man runs deeper than headlines. From rope swinging in the 70s to AI suits in the 2020s, Spider-Man's journey through live action has mirrored his comic journey. Evolution through adversity. Each actor brought something unique. Danny Segrin taught with silence. Nicholas Hammond paved the road. Tobey Maguire embodied burdened nobility. Andrew Garfield delivered emotional turbulence. Tom Holland captured youthful wonder and hard-earned maturity. And Spider-Man Lotus showed that even outside studios, the heart of Peter Parker still beats. They all share one truth. With great power comes great responsibility. So which Spider-Man version speaks to you the most? Do you stand by Tobey's sacrifice, Andrew's heartbreak, Holland's growth, or even the passion of Spider-Man Lotus? Each actor gave us a different Peter Parker, but only one can be your definitive Spider-Man. Share your choice in the comments and let's debate. Don't forget to subscribe for more superhero evolutions.